There is a power in silence, a dignity in restraint. Not every soul that crosses your path deserves the weight of your story. Not every ear is worthy of its truth. You see, words are not merely spoken, they are given, and once given, they cannot be taken back. Some will clutch at your confessions like thieves in the night, twisting them, weaponizing them. Others will simply let them slip through their fingers. Unvalued like sand, so I ask you, before you bare your soul, consider this. Does this person have the strength to hold it, or will they drop it, shattering the pieces of you upon the ground? Not all stories are meant to be told. Some are meant to be lived, some are meant to be buried deep, where only the earth and God can hear them whisper. There's an unspoken strength in keeping certain things to yourself. Not every thought needs a voice, not every experience requires an audience. Silence isn't emptiness, it's a fortress. When you withhold, you protect, you observe, you control the narrative before it's ever spoken. Some of the most profound moments in life are the ones never shared. They live in the quiet corners of your mind, untouched by outside judgment or misinterpretation. Words dilute truth as often as they reveal it. The less you say, the more you own. People will always ask, always pry, always demand explanations. But you don't owe them your history. You don't owe them your pain. The moment you speak, you give away power. Power that could have remained yours indefinitely. The world is loud. It craves noise, drama, confession. But silence is the rarest currency. It commands respect without begging for it. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. They wait for their turn to speak, to insert their own stories, to compare, to judge. Your deepest truths deserve better than that. They deserve reverence, not careless handling. Think of your story as something sacred. Would you leave a priceless artifact in the hands of a stranger? Would you trust fragile glass to someone who's already dropped it before? Not everyone has the capacity to hold your truth gently. Some will fumble it. Some will break it on purpose. Even those with good intentions can't always carry the weight. They'll nod, they'll sympathize, but they won't truly keep it safe. And once it's out there, it's no longer yours to protect. It becomes part of their narrative, not yours. Choose your listeners like you'd choose the keepers of your will, because in many ways, that's exactly what you're doing. Every time you share something personal, you're handing over a piece of yourself. It's not just information, it's trust, it's vulnerability, it's a transaction. And once that exchange is made, there's no taking it back. Some will treat your truth like a trophy, displaying it to others as proof of their own importance. Others will forget it entirely, leaving it discarded like yesterday's news. But neither outcome serves you. The wrong listener doesn't just waste your words, they devalue them. There's an art to knowing when to speak and when to hold back. The more you give away carelessly, the less it means when it truly matters. Reserve your confessions for those who have earned the right to hear them. Not everyone deserves that privilege, and that's not cruelty. It's discernment. Not every wound needs to be reopened. Not every memory needs to be relived. There are chapters in your life that gain nothing from being told. They exist for you alone, lessons carved into your bones, not for public consumption. The world loves a spectacle. It begs for vulnerability, for trauma laid bare, for the messy, raw edges of human experience. But you don't have to feed that hunger. Some stories lose their meaning when exposed. Some lose their power. There's a difference between secrecy and wisdom. Secrecy is fear. Wisdom is knowing that some things are too heavy, too sacred, or too dangerous to hand over to just anyone. Let them wonder, let them guess. The most intriguing people are the ones who don't explain themselves. Open for anyone to flip through. You decide the cover, the table of contents, the passages highlighted or redacted. The moment you let others dictate what's shared, you surrender authorship of your own story. People will always have opinions, always demand access, always feel entitled to your past. But you're not a public record. You're not required to disclose, to justify, to perform your pain or your triumphs for their entertainment. The fewer details you give, the more control you retain. Mystery isn't deception, it's strategy. It's the difference between being a character in someone else's gossip and being the untouchable architect of your own legacy. Silence isn't weakness, it's the ultimate power move. In a world that demands transparency, remember this: not all truths are meant to be told. Some are meant to be carried quietly, like embers in the dark, unseen but burning with purpose. Every time you speak, you risk losing control. Words, once released, become property of the listener, and not all listeners are caretakers. Some are collectors, some are thieves. The most powerful stories are the ones never fully told. They linger in the spaces between words, in the pauses between breaths, in the weight of what's deliberately withheld. You are not a museum. You don't owe anyone an exhibition of your scars, your struggles, or your victories. Some things gain value precisely because they're not on display. Let them wander. Let them fill the silence with their own assumptions. A story untold is a story they can never twist, never dilute, never claim as their own. There's a quiet arrogance in oversharing, an assumption that your audience cares, that they'll handle your truth with care, but most won't, most can't. The right to your story is earned, not given. It's a privilege reserved for those who have proven they can hold it without dropping it. Some chapters of your life are written in ink, others in smoke. One lasts forever, the other vanishes before it can be grasped. Know which is which. The world will push you to confess, to explain, to justify. But silence is the ultimate rebellion, a refusal to play by their rules. Your story is not currency. It's not meant to be traded for attention, for sympathy, for fleeting connection. Its value lies in its scarcity. The most dangerous people aren't the ones who keep secrets. They are the ones who demand them. Recognize the difference. You don't have to be mysterious to be respected, but you must be deliberate. Every word is a choice. Every silence is a boundary. There's a reason some of history's greatest figures left so much unsaid. They understood power isn't just in what you reveal, it's in what you refuse to. So let them talk. Let them speculate. While they're busy dissecting rumors, you'll be writing the next chapter undisturbed. In the end, the strongest stories aren't the loudest. They're the ones whispered only when it matters, to the few who have earned the right to listen.